What's up, y'all? It's your girl Leka, and I'm back with another travel vlog for y'all today. Before I get started though, let me just say this. Thank you all so much for tuning in, because I really could not do this without your support. And if you're watching this on Sister Signs and Red Flags, I do want to let you know that this actually will be the last travel vlog that'll appear on this podcast. After much thought and consideration, I decided that my travel stories deserve their own separate space. So if you like being outside with your girl, seeing new cities, eating good food, and laughing at all my travel drama, because baby, it never ends, then make sure you subscribe to @MissBooksandBusy on YouTube. That's at MissBookedandBusy, okay? And that's where all my travel content will live from this point forward. And then I also want to say, if you're already watching this on Miss Books and Busy, then thank you so much for riding with me. Again, I appreciate it. So let's get into this Memphis road trip. This Memphis trip started a little off schedule. I was supposed to leave by mid-morning Saturday, and the key words are being supposed to, but I didn't leave the Mississippi Gulf Coast until nearly 2 p.m. because, of course, I waited until the last minute to do almost everything. One was to pack, and the other was to get my nails done, and that turned into a whole adventure, baby, because it turned into 2 stops and a whole lot of waiting. But honey, I must tell you that the black ombre was definitely worth it. But after I finished getting my nails done, I did do a quick stop to the Walmart to grab a small clear bag for the concert and a few snacks for the road. And let me just say this, traveling with Invisalign, oh my God, is definitely a whole different experience, because you still have to keep up your care just like you're at home. So on my way to Hazelhurst to pick up my friend Sharita, I stopped at Keith's Superstore off of Highway 49 near Hattiesburg, used the bathroom real quick, brushed my teeth, and popped my Invisalign trays back in, because, you know, it's a whole process. So, but this was definitely one of those little reset stops that made me feel absolutely human again, but also had me spending money, because on my way out of the store, y'all, I noticed there were very, very cute little overnight travel bags with words like vacay, blessed, and road trip on them. And baby, I couldn't resist. They were about $20 a piece. I was like, you can't beat that. So I bought one for myself, my daughter, and Sharita. Lord have mercy. They were so cute. I couldn't help myself. Oh my God. I'm going to show y'all. You'll see it. Well, if you're watching, yeah. Anyway, if you're ever in the area, be sure to stop by Keith's and do a little shopping. They also have clean restrooms too. And as you know, that is always a road trip must, okay? Anyways, after Keith's, I got back on the road and headed toward the Jackson metro area. It was my first time being back in that area since I moved away about a year ago. And honestly, from what I could tell, not much had changed, but I eventually made it to Sharita's. We hung out for maybe 30-35 minutes. You know, she had to wrap up things at her house and stuff like that. After that, baby, we hit the road, and there was a lot of girl talk, a lot of laughter, but not too much traffic, which is always great. So we made it to Memphis around 11 that night and checked into the Residence Inn downtown, which, that choice of hotel, I probably won't stay there again. It's a much older building, older hotel, and the layout was a little unique. However, it just, I don't know. I'm a little bit more bougie about my hotels now, but I used to love the Residence Inn, but now it's on my iffy list. But baby, as soon as we dropped our bags and freshened up, we headed to Beale Street. And I have to tell y'all, I have been to Memphis on several occasions, and it's usually to attend the Warriors versus Grizzlies basketball game, but I had never actually done Beale Street. So this was a new experience for me. We started at the Blue City Café, and baby, that Cajun garlic skillet shrimp was sizzling hot. It was heat. hidden. Not a single piece, not one iota of a piece of food was left on my plate, y'all. That food was absolutely delicious, no lie. After our late dinner, we walked over to the tin roof for drinks and live music. The band was nice. I enjoyed hearing the sounds of the guitar, and that dude, he could sing real, real good. Can't even remember the band name, but I enjoyed it so much. But as we were sitting there with our drinks, we noticed a large group of young black folks come through and disappear to the other side of the building. And I looked at Sharita like, where they going? And baby, out of curiosity, we followed. Because where are people going? And baby, let me tell you, that's where the real party was, okay? The DJ was playing all the younger folks' hip-hop songs that I didn't even know any of them, baby. None of them. But I was still dancing like I did, okay? It was hot, crowded, and loud, but I enjoyed the hell out of myself. I really did. And I swear, some of the younger people must have told the DJ that a couple of old ass women had wandered in, because suddenly he switched it up and dropped Nelly's Hot in Here and a little John. So baby, you know now, if you know, you know, you know, you know, okay? We ended up staying there till close, baby, sweating, laughing, and just having a great time. We might have got back to the hotel probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. But it was so much fun. But let me say this, baby. Beale Street was definitely shorter than I expected. It's got that Bourbon Street vibe, but it doesn't go on for miles and miles. And you know, I did not know that on certain nights after a certain time, you have to show your ID, pay $5, and pass through security just to get on the street, baby. Because they not letting the thugs in. They was like, the thugs, no, y'all can't come in. No. So if you have your ID, you have $5, baby, cash, and you was a high security risk with weapons and stuff, you was not getting on Beale Street on that Saturday night. You hear me? But tell me why y'all, Memphis finest, were posted up, half on their phones like they were off the clock. Protecting Sir who, boo? Like, who? It was definitely an experience for me. Before I get into the next day, I have to tell y'all about these Memphis Lyft drivers, because baby child, Lord have mercy. The first one, he was a cool dude, but baby, that car smelled like Mary Jane lived in it, okay? I mean, he was high, but still, he was nice. He got us to our destination safely. I thank him for it, and I'm grateful that he did, okay? The next morning, the driver who picked us up, child, he had a whole sidekick in his car, and I was like, excuse me? Like, we taking passengers with us? Like, what is going on? And I guess I'm coming from a place of, I used to drive for Lyft and Uber, and whenever I did that, I never brought anybody along with me. I always just did it solo, and of course, I had my little weapon on the side, baby, because you weren't gonna try me. Absolutely not. Later on, we had a driver who was supposed to be a man, but turned out to be a whole woman using somebody else's profile. Now look, y'all, no judgment. I get that folks are hustling, gotta make this money, especially in 2025 with the way the prices of everything is going up and the way the economy is. Like, we gotta get it how we live. But it still felt a little unsafe, and you know what? My best advice is, before you get into that little baby, double check those plates, okay, before you ride, because you want to keep yourself safe. And then also make sure that people you know and that love you also have notifications when you go on your list. I use that shit faithfully. Matter of fact, my best friend Scott, he texts me, he's like, you sure enough in and out, ain't you? Because he kept getting the notifications every time I did the lift. I was like, yeah, baby, but I'm glad he knew where I was and who was driving me. So that is definitely important for safety, okay? The next morning, we wanted to hit up the Garden Brunch Café, but because they don't do reservations and it's first come, first serve, baby, when we got there was already a line out the door. And so while we waited, Sharita spotted this fancy looking coffee spot called Hustle and Dough. And it's inside of the Arrive Memphis Hotel. It's a super, super cute space with a shabby chic type of feel. And baby, the coffee was good as hell. It was top tier, okay? And while we were headed over there, Sharita noticed the Lorraine Motel sign, which is the place where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. And we both was like, yeah, when we get done with brunch, baby, we going over there next. We had our little coffee or whatever, went back to the Garden Brunch Cafe. Honey, I ordered the salmon croquettes with grits, eggs, and toast. And baby, that food was fresh, organic as hell, and it was cooked to perfection. No lie. And they had this ginger tea. That's what they call it. Don't be fooled by it. But it's called ginger tea. And that drink hit just right. Now, the bartender was like, hey, we're out of ice. Do you still want? I was like, yeah, I don't even care because, my drink's a little room temperature anyway, right? So anyway, another thing I want to say about the Garden Brunch that I actually appreciate the fact that they do not do takeout orders or call-in orders, because I feel like that keeps their focus on the people who are actually dining in. Baby, love that. 10 out of 10. Will absolutely do it again. After brunch, we walked to the National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel. And I must say that the place will absolutely humble you. Seeing all that history, the images, and the courage, baby, it's very heavy. As a Black woman, it certainly stirred up both anger and pride, and both sadness and gratitude within me. And you're standing there in front of Dr. King's hotel room, looking at his personal things and just imagining what happened in that moment. I mean, that hits very deep. Baby, people were crying. It was a lady behind, she was almost wailing about it. And honestly, I almost cried too. I was teary-eyed about it. It's a very emotionally provoking scene. And especially after you've just walked through the entire tour of the museum that takes you throughout the years of African American history, right? And up into the culmination of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And of course, y'all, there is always a gift shop. And I could not shop. You feel me? So I got a shirt for my daughter that said, I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. And that's a quote by Angela Davis. And I figured my daughter could use that inspiration. For myself, I grabbed a shirt and a magnet that said, well-behaved women seldom makes history, because I am not well-behaved. Far from it, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. Because, baby, absolutely not. And of course, I had to grab another tote bag, because apparently I'm still a goddamn bag lady and can't help myself. Now, if you have never been to a civil rights museum, I highly encourage and recommend you go to one. Take your kids to one. Take your family, your friends, whoever, because it never hurts to get a little culture, to get a little history, and a little education as well. So, that Sunday night, the reason for our whole entire trip was the Queen's Tour concert with Gladys Knight, Stephanie Mills, Patti LaBelle, and Chaka Khan. Now, traffic, y'all, was wild. So we had our Lyft driver drop us off walking distance from FedEx Forum. And as soon as we stepped out the motherfucking car and took maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, baby, it started pouring down raining. We managed to find a little shelter on a building's awning for a minute. But baby, I told Sharita, I was like, girl, we got to get a move on, because we paid extra for that Blues Room package. You know what I mean? So we kept walking, soaking wet, rain and all. But guess what? The first door we came to, baby, it was the right door because it was the Blues Room's entrance, okay? And if nothing else, it was worth the extra $100 for that reprieve. The private entry, the buffet, and the drinks. It was worth it, okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie. Security was tripping a little bit. Baby, they took Sharita's rat tail comb because they said it could be used as a weapon. And my thing was, it wasn't even metal. It wasn't the metal comb too. It was plastic, baby. Sharita was hot about that. And you know what? I can't say I blame her because I would have been mad as hell too. But once we got inside though, it was definitely worth it. Gladys night open, and she was graceful as ever. She is still a legend, even if her voice isn't what it used to be. And Stephanie Mills came out and just blew the roof off of everything. Her voice is unbelievable, but so are the voices of her sons. Oh my God, them boys can sing. Then, Patti LaBelle, y'all. Look, I've seen Patti twice before, and baby, she never ever disappoints, okay? Baby, that woman can still perform. 81 years old or not, she is a powerhouse performer, and she is funny as all get out, okay? And then Chaka, baby, Chaka said, I hope y'all know this is a sing-along. You probably know my songs better than me. And I said, Lord have mercy, I laughed so hard at Chaka about that. But all four queens, baby, they did exactly what needed to be done. And we had floor seats, you know, they didn't cost too much, but honestly, it was one of those once in a lifetime things. Like, I don't know, we will never see this again. I don't think so. Why not go ahead and get floor seats? You know what I mean? After the show, we stopped at the merch table. I was a little disappointed because they didn't have anything merchandise-wise with all four of the ladies together. But I ended up getting a Patti LaBelle fan. Chaka's fan was cute as hell, but baby, the thing was $75 for a fan. Like, girl, no, not on my budget. I'm not paying for that. No, absolutely not. But we took a photo booth picture as well together. That came out real cute. And afterwards, we headed to Esco Restaurant and Tapas. I hope I pronounced that right. We were going to go the night before. However, that line was so long over there. It was like, oh, that's okay. But this time, they were the only restaurant that was left open at that time that had a late closing because Beale Street apparently closes down early on Sunday nights. And so we went there. They had a DJ, baby. The vibe was chill. I ordered calamari. Sharita had some wings, and the food was good, and the music was right. It was, you know, basically the perfect way to end the night. So the next morning, I went downstairs, baby, trying to get me some Starbucks. And how about the thing was closed? Talking about our system is down. So I had to settle for the hotel breakfast and that generic coffee with no good creamer. And y'all, I'm gonna just tell you, I'm real bougie about my creamer. So this was such a disappointment, no lie. But after that, we packed it up, checked out, and made it home safe. No issues, no drama, just fun and new memories. This trip was exactly what I needed. There was good food, good music, a little history, a little laughter, and women who reminded me what legacy looks like. So whether you're tuning in on Sister Signs and Red Flags, or Miss Booked and Busy, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting every version of me, the creative Pisces rising, the traveling Sagittarian, and the storytelling Gemini. Stay booked, y'all, stay busy, and be safe out there. Bye.